Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your favourite dragon trainer from down under, Ben. And without further ado, I'm reviewing a film that I've been looking forward to, however, very skeptical due to the track record of any live action adaptation, to be fully honest with you. But this is the first live action adaptation from DreamWorks or any DreamWorks film, and it is none other than How to Train Your Dragon, which I think the original animated film was 2010 when it came out, so 15 years ago now. It obviously is the first entry to a trilogy. This is the live action adaptation of the first film. I know the second film has already got greenlit, so if you didn't know that, you know now. And it is a film that I hold dear to my heart because I love the first one. I adore it. I think it is an extremely underrated trilogy, although it does seem to be getting its flowers sometime down the path and down the track now, where people are looking back and rewatching it because of this. So if there's any good, a fantastic thing that comes out of this, it might be the fact that people go revisit the animated films. But this film is directed by Dean DeBlar, who I think is the perfect candidate to direct this film. Reason being is he is none other than the director who directed all three original animated films. He also directed like Lilo and Stitch, the animated film, not the recent one that just came out. But being such a perfect candidate, obviously he knows the world, he knows these characters. There's no better person to envision this into the live action world than the man who made those films to begin with. Now, in saying that, I really did have a good time with this. But the reason being is it genuinely does almost feel like a remaster, as they say in the gaming world, or it just feels like they've picked up the animated film and then popped it into live action, due to almost it being scene for scene, the exact same visual look in terms of the scenes and the actual story itself. There's not really much different. It's not like, they've changed a few things here and there like some of the most recent live action adaptations, or they've changed a few things for the translation of live action. It really just feels like the same movie, just in a live action storytelling live action visual feast. It does work though, and the reason being is the original film is such a fantastic movie, and this film's really good. Although being the fact that there's not much difference or not much separating the two, you do kind of come out of it not knowing why it exists in the first place, because the animated films is such a high mark. But in saying that, I actually think if I want to play devil's advocate and go on both sides of the spectrum. I think obviously animated films, you can't make live action films look the way they do, but what you can do with live action is allow actors to portray emotions and portray, a realism that you might not get with animated. Obviously, you can go the other way and go hyper realistic or hyper animated, which humans can't do. But I got to give it serious props for that and the casting, because not only did Dean DeBlar do a fantastic job directing the film in general, it looks great. They went to Ireland. They did all pretty much location shooting. They did the visual effects first of all as well. Look how fantastic Toothless looks. They really nailed that, and the film looks spectacular. All the sets, all the all the sets, all the cinematography, like the shots. I think visually it looks fantastic, but the casting is also great. You've obviously got Gerard Butler, who does reprise the same role he played in the original animated film, but you've got Mason Thames, who some people would know from The Black Phone, but he is a fantastic, fantastic Hiccup, and he really brings a kind of fresh way. I mean, obviously it's the same character, same story, but he brings a fresh take that you didn't get with the animated, and I think that's across the ball with all these actors and all these characters. Nico Parker's also great in the film as Astrid, but that's something that you obviously if there's anything that comes out of this, I think we're getting great performances. It might introduce this film to new generations, and as I said, they might go back and revisit a fantastic film trilogy. Obviously, I assume that this will get made into a trilogy, being that the second is greenlit. But I had a really good time with this. I think at the end of the day, whether these live action adaptations need to exist or whether they exist for a cash grab, I'm not opposed to them existing if they really just kind of do the same thing but bring a new life to it, whether it be great visual effects, some great performances, and a good, really good time. And I just got to say as well, John Powell's work in this, the original trilogy or the soundtrack, specifically the test drive sequence, I think it's called, I listen to it all the time, might be his magnum opus of a score. I think it's one of the best scores to exist in an animated film. Potentially one of my favorites of all time in any film ever. Like, I got genuine goosebumps, and I'm a sucker for it. I love the original. I love the original trilogy. Being that I love the original, I was always going to enjoy this, especially if it's almost just a carbon copy of what already's out there. So I had a great time with it. If you do like the original, I'm sure you'd like this. It does bring something a little bit fresh with the performances, visual effects, obviously that visual aesthetic of being live action, sets, the locations. But if you're expecting something new, you're most likely not going to get that here. But look, if you have seen it, comment below, let me know what you think. If you do like the review, please do give it a like and subscribe for more.